Alright, so here's where I am. I took the original lid I had on here and I placed it on a grinding wheel in my drill. Just ground that off. Made sure I was wearing a face mask because it's a lot of little shavings of metal and some eye goggles. So I opened that up a lot bigger than it was before. Before it had a little bitty hole. In fact, that was the size of the original hole. And as you can see, that's how much I basically cut off of it. I had to also cut it off of the blue inner ring so that the pipe could go through without hitting the blue ring. So here's the piece of pipe. It fits right in there. And of course the blue ring still fits around it. That blue ring's vital for this to work in the fashion that it can have multiple size lids, like this size or this size. What that blue ring does is it creates a seal between this metal rim and that metal rim, so that you can size up to that, you can size up to that. There's three different sizes. I have that one, I have that one. The one you're not seeing here is this one. I don't know where it's at, but I also have this size. So there's three different sizes that can fit on top of this can here. This lid. So that's vital for this to be a multi-size thing. If it wasn't going to be multi-size, there's no reason to have this blue ring in here. If it was just this size, that blue ring can go in the trash. But that blue ring is just what seals the tops of these monster cans. So that's why I hold on to it, because it does such a good job of sealing them that it works really well with it. So now I think, well, without the blue ring, I'm going to let that, I don't know if you can see how it's sticking in there, I'm going to let it stick up about 1/8 inch. And the nice thing is, it can stick up as far as I need it to because it doesn't interfere with the lid at all. But I think 1/8 inch is plenty. I do have a problem with my original stove here. I put the nipple in at the very top, and with this one, it just won't go over the top there. There's just no room for it to. It'd be too slanted. So I'm going to have to make a new main pipe here and bottom here. I'll still use this. I may use it for something else. I don't know exactly what yet, but I'll hold on to it. I may have to pull that nipple out of there. I think I'm out of nipples right now. So anyways, this will go in here. I'll get my base washer all set up, solder it onto there, file down the edge and put the nipple and washer on the edge of it, and get that ready to go. I'll have my washer here. I think, not my washer, my gasket. I think once I get it all welded together on the inside and the outside, I think what I'm going to do a little different this time is after I get it all JB welded on the inside and the outside, I'm going to put a silicone sealant over the JB weld. Silicone doesn't seem to be affected in any way by the alcohol, by the rubbing alcohol. So I think that if I put a silicone sealant over the top of it, just a thin layer, and maybe even put that down on top of it, and silicone in between the seams around that too, so that can't move in or out, and in the base down there where it touches together, just put a silicone sealant over that. I think it will keep the JB Weld from getting hit by the alcohol, which will keep it from breaking down. So the JB Weld does break down with the alcohol touching it, so that's what I got to try and avoid. I do have an epoxy, a 2-part epoxy, that I'm going to test as well and see how it handles. Now, it does not handle heat as well as the JB Weld or the silicone. So that's why I haven't used it as much. I used this one here. You can see the base of this is actually done with that silicone, and it is rock hard. And I know every time I run this stove, and I run it for a long period of time, it's also used in there. This is JB Weld on the top, though, and silicone. I mean, not silicone. Epoxy on the bottom. Every time I run this stove really hot, that bottom gets a little tacky, which tells me that it's not heat resistant, and that's pretty far away from the heat up here. So down here on the base getting a little tacky means that it's not going to be resistant enough to withstand being on the top. Maybe down in the bottom down here, but I don't know how it will handle against the alcohol. So a few more tests on that. I've never noticed this to get the other one to get tacky or anything just by having alcohol in it. And the whole base of this is put together with alcohol, and the whole top of it is put together with JB Weld. In fact, I think I actually accidentally epoxied in my carbon felt on that one, so that one's in there permanently until I cut it out. But we will get going further with this and see how it turns out and let you guys know.